What an absolutely spectacular puzzle we have here from the Streamer Arena March 2026, featuring a game between Sunleo with the white pieces and I Am Bond 2 with the black pieces. At first glance, white is up a bit of material, but take a look at that white king hanging out in the open on G3 like a tourist in the wrong neighborhood, while black's pieces are swarming all around. When you have such an active position, your intuition should scream at you to look for forcing moves, checks, captures, and threats. Notice how black's rook on H1 is staring down the H-file, but the pawn on H3 is in the way. What if we just sacrifice a whole rook to blow open the king's defenses? Boom! Black slams the rook into H3 with check. What a sacrifice. Can white just take it with the king? Nope. If you look closely, black's bishop on F5 is slicing across the board, completely covering the H3 square. Taking with the king is literally an illegal move. White is forced to accept the sacrifice with the pawn. The pawn captures the rook. But look at the catastrophic consequences. The pawn shield is shattered and the G-file is blasted wide open. Black's queen has been waiting for this exact moment. The queen slides to G1, delivering a blistering check. White's king is under heavy fire. Where can he run? He cannot step up to H4 or F4 because black's pawn on G5 has those squares on lockdown. He cannot step back to H2 because the queen covers it. White is forced to walk the plank. The king steps out to F3. But how do we keep the momentum going? We need more attackers. Black plays a brilliant, intuitive pawn thrust to G4 with check, clearing squares for our pieces and restricting the king even further. Now white has to make a choice, and all of them are terrible. Let us look at the options. What if white gets greedy and takes the pawn? The pawn captures on G4. It looks like white wins a pawn, but after the bishop captures on G4 with check, the king is forced to step forward. The king moves to F4, and then black delivers a breathtaking checkmate. The bishop drops back to H6, and that is mate. The king is completely boxed in by black's pawns and bishops. What if white instead steps forward immediately? King moves to F4. It is the exact same story. Bishop to H6 is an instant checkmate. The pawns and bishops create a perfect, inescapable cage. Since stepping forward or taking the pawn leads to an immediate mate, white's only way to drag the game out is to step back. The king retreats to E3. But black is absolutely relentless. The attack continues. The dark-squared bishop joins the party with a check from H6. White has to block with the knight. The knight jumps to F4. And now, the finishing geometrical masterpiece. The queen swings over to C1 with check. Take a moment to appreciate this position. The white king has absolutely no legal squares. His own queen blocks him on E2, the bishop from F5 controls the D3 square, and the pawn on G4 controls F3. White is completely paralyzed and is forced to block with the queen. The queen drops back to D2. But wait, is not that knight on F4 pinned? Yes, it is. And it is now only defended by the king. Black crashes through. The bishop captures the knight with check. It is game over. If white tries to run, moving the king to E2, black forces mate. First, the queen captures the white queen with check. The king slides to F1. The light-squared bishop delivers a check from D3. The king tucks away on G1. And finally, the queen slides down to E1 for a beautiful checkmate. And if white instead tries capturing the bishop, taking on F4 with the king, black simply plays queen captures D2 with check, winning the queen. After, the bishop blocks on E3, the queen grabs the pawn on C3. Black emerges from this tactical hurricane up a queen and a bishop against a rook, completely winning the game. What a spectacular geometrical king hunt by I Am Bond 2. Every single black piece and pawn played a crucial role in weaving this inescapable mating net. I hope you enjoyed this brilliancy. Keep looking for those forcing moves, and I will see you in the next one.